All right, everyone. My name is Emma Ward, and I'd like to welcome you all to today's online demo day. Today's demo day includes 7 of our strongest founding partners from around the US and across a variety of different industries. So, for those of you who may not be familiar, today's online demo day is actually an extension of our long-standing in-person demo day series that we launched back in 2017 with the goal of introducing some of our strongest founding partners to our network of investors around the country and around the world. So, to date, we've hosted demo days in person in over 15 cities throughout the United States, as well as 2 international locations in Toronto and Qatar. For today's online demo day, I am joined by my colleague Karandeep Sodhi. The 2 of us will be serving as today's moderators for the event to ensure everything runs smoothly. So over to Karan for some game rules for today.
Thanks a lot for the introduction, Emma. I welcome everyone for the demo day today. Today we will have around 7 presentations with the opportunities for the investors to engage in a round of Q&A post each presentation. Each of our founders will have 4 minutes to pitch. There will be an audible ring when there's 1 minute remaining for the presentation's time. Investors may also reach out during the presentation via direct message in the Zoom feature, the chat feature, or the Q&A chat feature. We will be addressing all those questions, and if there's any shortage of time, we would be taking those questions and mailing you the answers as well. At the end of each presentation, we will share a poll for you to rank the presentation and also give you an opportunity to have an individual introduction with everyone. So your feedback form actually goes a long way for us to improve the presentations, to improve the entire event. And we're very excited to host you. And I think those are the rules for today. So I hope you guys enjoy your presentations and give us a fair feedback. Thank you. Over to you, Emma.
Yeah, thanks, Karan. So as I mentioned, today we're lucky to be joined by 7 of our strongest partnering founders from across the US. In the order of their presentations, they are as follows. So I have Junaid Ghauri, the CEO and principal scientist over at Apex Analytica, coming to us from Elkridge, Maryland. Harsha Rajasima, CEO and founder of Jiva out of Washington, D.C. Shauna Holland, the founder of Third Degree from Hickson, Tennessee. Will Cellino, co-founder and CEO of Anthology out of Seattle, Washington. Lori Caluart, founder of the social network Verified app from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And Monica Peraza-O'Quigley, co-founder and co-CEO of the Etho from Austin, Texas. And last but not least, I have Paul Bergkemper, the co-founder of Vinsight from Denver, Colorado. So with that, I'd actually like to kick things off by introducing KiwiTech co-founder and CIO Neil Gupta to give everyone a little bit of an overview of KiwiTech and the ecosystem that we've built here. So Neil, over to you.
Thanks, Emma, Karandeep, the KiwiTech team, and of course our startup presenters and investors today. I'm here to give you a little background on KiwiTech for any of you who might be new. KiwiTech is a global ecosystem of technology startups. We have a portfolio approaching 300 companies now where we have equity that we've partnered with. A number of investors who have invested directly in our portfolio companies and mentors as well. And most of our companies are here in the US, coast to coast, from our New York office in Bryant Park to LA, Bay Area, Austin, Chicago, Miami, Boston, all the startup ecosystems. Most of the startup ecosystems around the US. We have some companies in Canada, Middle East, UK, and Europe as well. A little bit about how we got here, how we developed the platform. My co-founders and I are from the tech services world. We scaled a business to 5,000 people in the tech services space, which we sold, and started investing in startups. And as we did that, we invested in about 35 companies. We found that there was a common thread between these companies where they were having trouble building their tech because they were outsourcing a good portion of it in the early stages. So we started helping them with their technology development and found that we could actually invest in them by building their tech. So we started our program and supplemented that with demo days where we helped investors and startups connect, and also workshop series where we have expert speakers on various subject matters. So we're planning to grow this portfolio to 1,000 companies over the next few years. This is a little bit about how our ecosystem and startup partnership works. We're in any investors who may have portfolio companies that may be interested. We look at basically a project that an entrepreneur is planning to outsource. It could be a $500,000 project that they're planning to send most likely abroad. And we will essentially do that for half the price, and the other half we'll take as fair market value warrants. So the startup saves $250,000 on this particular project, which they can use for marketing or other areas. Our ecosystem of events, as I mentioned, the demo days, the workshop series. We also have venture capital panels, family office panels, industry panels. We recently had a venture fair, 2-day venture fair, and a 3-day techathon. This is a little bit about our deal flow. Last year, we reached out to 40,000 companies, had 6,000 calls, 2,000 meetings, 625 deal reviews, and invested in 109 companies. We feel that with this broad outreach, we can really target the best of breed in all different sectors, whether it's financial sector, healthcare, social media, e-commerce, advertising, wherever technology startups are disrupting industries. We think that the more we see, better companies we're going to find. And we also partner with other investors in terms of sharing deal flow, of course. A little bit about our events. By the end of this year in Q4, we're going to be up to 32 events, starting with 15 in Q1. So doubling the number of events quarter on, basically by the end of the year. Q3, it's going to be 24 events. We expect 2,500 attendees at our Q3 events. Usually a pretty good split between investors and startups. We had 2,000 attendees at our Q2 events, so this continues to scale in terms of just the interest from the ecosystem. This is a little sample of one of our venture fairs. Well, this is the one venture fair we've had so far. It was a 2-day venture fair, health tech and fintech just last week. So we had expert panels, including Care First Insurance Ventures, Unity Point Ventures, Verizon, and other expert speakers on the health tech side. On fintech panel, we had Edison Ventures, Fidelity, Plug and Play. So really great partners and speakers at our events. And we had startups pitching on each day as well. Our family office panel that we held recently, we had Koch Industries family office, Forbes family office, a branch of the DuPont family office called Vertus Investments, and a multi-family office out of Connecticut with 150 families as panelists, and 4 of our portfolio companies presenting at this event. Another VC panel. We had Edison Ventures, NEA. There's another fund out of the Bay Area called Storm Ventures, and Sine Wave Ventures, which is a fund out of New York, talking about how COVID is impacting their investment strategy. Example of an industry panel on InsurTech. We have Chubb here, Lockton, other experts in the insurance industry talking about the state of affairs. Example of an online demo day. Example of a new format, we have Black Entrepreneurs Matter Demo Day. We had a ex-NFL player, Super Bowl winner, and a Cooley lawyer and an investor panel. 7 of our startups presenting, moderated again by KiwiTech folks. And also a Grammy Award-winning performance here. Similar setup in a Female Founders Demo Day. We've been holding this for years. Quarterly, usually in the Bay Area, virtual now. Again, we have an investor panel and our startups presenting here. Example of an online workshop, talking about soft and hard issues, whether it's managing anxiety, product pivoting, fundraising. So a good mix of different topics that entrepreneurs are interested in. Our COVID-19 techathon was a 3-day techathon centered around health and wellness on the first day, fintech on the second day, and workforce management on the third day. So we had startups presenting here as well as expert panels. So those are the pillars of our ecosystem: technology, capital, mentoring, go-to-market. And now we'll get to the exciting part of the day, which is the presentations. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Neil, for giving that quick little overview. So without further ado, we'll turn things over to our startups to begin the presentations for today. So first up, I'd like to introduce Junaid Gari, the CEO and Principal Scientist of Apex Analytica. So Junaid, over to you whenever you're ready.
Okay, so again, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time out today to attend today's event. What I'll be taking you through today is the platform that we're developing at Apex Analytica. So at the heart of it, what we're producing is a crisis relief and incident management analytics platform. The first major area we're focused on right now is COVID-19. And the specific pipelines we're focused on there are PPE optimization and testing distribution. We feel that we haven't seen a whole lot of evidence-based decision-making in what we're calling the COVID economy for the time being. So we feel that using predictive analytics and artificial intelligence strategically can offer that. So our platform is, there's three different layers to the platform. The first is a reporting layer, a second is a forecasting layer, and the third is a recommender system. So for the reporting layer, we're curating data right now from all of the major organizations that are collecting and producing KPIs around COVID-19. However, on the back end, what we're doing is utilizing an anomaly detection algorithm to cross-validate that data and ensure data quality. Now for layer two, we've developed a number of partnerships with research centers and academic centers across the US that are already working on forecasting. And much like layer one, aside from curating that data, we're actually creating ensemble models using something known as like Bayesian hyperparameter optimization for layer two. And ultimately what that does is that allows us to create derivative models that have a higher degree of accuracy than the component parts. Now layer three, and this is I think one of the most interesting layers in our case scenario, is a recommender system. So what we're essentially offering to our clients is something similar to what Amazon or Netflix provides in movie recommendations or product recommendations. The only difference here is that the user inputs project requirements. So what type of supplier are they dealing with? What is the quantity of the supply and what is the project timeline? And on the output side of it, they're provided with recommendations as to what the optimal logistics routing would be for that project. And layer three interfaces as such. Now, with layer three, largely, along with the other layers as well, we're collecting not just transmission data or epidemiological data, but satellite, search, IoT data, just the whole gambit. The reasoning behind this is because while COVID is our entry to market, we see that the incident and emergency management market is a viable long-term market for us. By end of 2023, it's projected to be about 123 billion. And the federal budget to date remains largely unallocated year after year. In light of that, we've already started conversations with Department of Homeland Security, with Microsoft, and with the Veterans Health Administration. Our partnerships range from research collaborations to business development and scalability firms. So we have Columbia, Los Alamos, and Berkeley for on the research side, and KiwiTech, AWS, which we're part of the founders program there, and Reagan Technologies, which is our prime contractor. We expect there to be there's three major areas, revenue generation areas that we see for our project. The first is enterprise clients, and this of course is the ones that are mentioned above. We think that for layer one and layer two, there's a real use case here for retail users as well, and then public grants that we are currently co-applying to with some of our research collaborations. We put a world-class team together to be able to execute on this project. My own background is in computational mathematics. I've worked in climate modeling at NASA, and I've developed algorithmic trading systems at Pareto Technologies, which is a hedge fund. CTO is a PhD in aeronautical engineering, head of client analytics at BlackRock. And we have the principal data scientist from Mozilla on our team, along with one of the leading epidemiologists at the World Bank doing STI tracing and operational readiness. And here's some of our other team members. We are essentially looking to raise 975 grand in the form of a safe note. Would be happy to take any questions anyone might have.
Right. Thanks a lot, Junaid. So we do have a couple of questions coming in. The first question that we have is, how do you plan to secure users for your platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Reagan Technologies, which was mentioned in one of the slides, that's a prime contractor that we have a very close relationship with. So some of the federal agencies that we've already started the conversations with have come through Reagan Tech. In the longer term, we intend to have our own procurement team, but initially that's where it would be.
All right, thank you. So we have another question that just poured in. Could you provide an example of how a user could harness the platform, particularly Layer 3, to optimally distribute their PPE?
Yes, absolutely. So in the case of the Layer 3 for Veterans Health Administration, we've been in touch with their CTO, who said that this type of product would be systemic to their decision making and understanding where they should be distributing their reserve supply of PPE like ICU beds and N95 masks. So I think uses like that are some of what we're looking for.
Okay, all right, fair enough. We have another last question. There are other research groups forecasting COVID-19 epidemiology. How will your Layer 2 projections be different or better?
Right. So, and this goes to the ensemble models that I was mentioning for Layer 2. In general, we're leaving the domain expertise with the domain experts. And so in terms of factor analysis and such, that's what's coming from these groups. But what we have at this stage is not just forecast models, but actual back testable data. And what we can do is similar to some of the work that I did at NASA, where we can actually take each of these models, back test them, and we've already started this process of back testing them through what actually happened with the epidemiology of COVID, and understand on a per day basis which model was predicting better. And ultimately, we've already been seeing that on a out of sample basis, it's been performing very well.
All right, thanks a lot, Junaid. So now we'd like to move to the next presenter. Thanks a lot, Junaid, for your presentation. It was great.
Absolutely, thank you.
So Emma, over to you. Please go ahead.
Real quick, we have a poll coming up for you guys, so feel free to go on and rate Junaid's presentation. Again, if you'd like an introduction, there are some questions that cannot be answered during this quick Q&A session. Hit that yes for requesting an intro, and we'll get you guys connected following the event. So with that, get your ratings in, get your requests in. And coming up next, we have Harsha Rajasima, the CEO and founder of Jiva, coming to us from Washington, D.C. So Harsha, whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon. I'm Harsha Rajasimha from Jiva Informatics. We are on a mission to reduce the clinical trial timelines for life-saving therapies by decreasing it by half and reducing the burdens on both clinical trial teams and patients of participating and conducting clinical trials by resulting in 30 to 70% cost savings. Patient recruitment is the #1 problem in the clinical trials industry. 1 out of 4 patients who do review the informed consent decline to participate, citing travel burden as the main reason. That's 25%, and that's a solvable problem. If we solve that problem, the massive opportunity to save both time and cost is enormous. So it's 1.3 billion if you account for not just the direct savings, which is 27 to 70%, but also indirect savings in terms of the lost market opportunity. Every day a drug is delayed results in about $300,000 in lost revenue. And so that's a savings of about 1.3 billion on an average for a vaccine study. We do this by disrupting the clinical trials market with a fully integrated end-to-end decentralized technology platform that's cloud-based, bring your own device model. Patients can participate from the convenience of their home without having to drop out due to burden. And the study team can manage and coordinate with bidirectional communication, reducing the data errors due to manual entry by 90%. And so that's the big benefit with the rich user experience that our platform provides. We have a clear competitive advantage with our competitors with I haven't named them intentionally, but we looked at top players like Science 37, Medidata, Medable, and others that our customers referenced as not meeting their requirements. And when we did a thorough analysis of why they are unable to meet the requirements of this in specific for rare diseases and cell and gene therapy market segment, we realized that there is several gaps that we have identified, and we have submitted a SBIR proposal for this as well to NIH. That's a bundled offering that can help both academic researchers and patient advocacy groups or nonprofit organizations, which do not need to pay the expensive prices that the biotech sponsors pay to run clinical trials that are regulated by the FDA. And so we will have bundled offerings for that, which is a higher premium price as well as academic version, which will streamline. They will get the same value, but at different levels of regulatory stringency. All of this insights, discovery, and roadmap has resulted from listening to our customers, over 500 of them in discovery that we have spoken with so far, multiple letters of commitment, and 4 paid pilot projects are lined up starting in November. We are going after a $37 billion target total addressable market, with about 30% of that are in precision medicines, seeding our strategy in rare diseases, where I have a personal story of having lost a child to a rare congenital disease in 2012, which is when I decided to apply my years of postdoctoral training to speed up therapies for rare diseases. And so that's a 30% of that market segment, and then expand to other markets like oncology and neurological and other diseases. That's our clear roadmap, starting with research market, which our proof of concept prototype that's ready now will be getting into paid pilot projects starting November, and commercial launch planned for May next year. By end of next year, we plan to launch for FDA-sponsored clinical trials. We have a scalable business model with rapid path to profitability in 3 to 4 years. That's our world-class team with KiwiTech building our technology platform. We are currently seeking 2 million seed capital. We have raised $500,000 so far in our pre-seed round, and we have a term sheet signed for $1.5 million. This seed capital will allow us to execute the customer pilot programs that are lined up, as well as leading us into the commercial launch of both the research platform as well as the clinical platform. Thank you. We invite you to join us in our journey.
Thanks a lot, Harsha. Thanks a lot for your presentation. Also, for all the investors, we would request you to use the Q&A feature, which you will see on the bottom of your Zoom screen, to ask any questions that you would like to ask our presenters. As of now, we have a question coming in. So what type of proof of concept or pilot projects do you have lined up? Are they paid or unpaid?
Yeah, we have about 4 paid pilot projects lined up, all of them coming in from rare disease patient advocacy groups or from academic university investigators. So we are looking to get into the clinical trial biotech sponsor space next year. So I think we can establish our credibility with these academic university pilot projects this year.
Thank you. So we have a last question. Can you elaborate your go-to-market strategy?
Absolutely. So we have a two-sided market strategy where on one side, we want to make sure our clinical trial sponsors are satisfied with their efficiency gains and cost savings. On the other side, we have participants and patients that can have a free mobile app from the App Store that they can install and start getting into the system and browse through all the available clinical trials. So we are building both sides of the market at the same time. So that will give us a longer term advantage and create network effects.
Okay, thank you.
Word of mouth and referrals.
Thanks a lot for answering the questions. Thanks a lot, Harsha. Over to you, Emma.
All right, thank you so much. So coming right on up next, we'll have the poll come up for Harsha's presentation. If you have anything more you'd like to discuss with him, feel free to click that yes for an intro. But coming up third, we have Shauna Holland, who's the founder of Third Degree out of Hickson, Tennessee.
My name is Shauna Holland, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Third Degree, turning awkward dates into meaningful connections. So let's be real, who hasn't been on an awkward date? I once got stuck on a date with a guy where the conversation was starting to fade. And so he decides to show me pictures on his phone of his 200 pairs of cowboy boots and insisted on telling me how much each pair cost. That's just one example of many bad days I've had. I met my husband and co-founder on Tinder, actually, during a time where the dating world was all about quickly getting to the first date. Dating is hard enough in the best of times, but throw in a pandemic and social distancing mandates, and you'd expect the search for love to be the last thing on everyone's mind. But dating is thriving. Thanks to dating apps, it's easy for us to find and meet people, but that's only half the battle, right? Dating apps have failed to help people connect more deeply during virtual and in-person dates. Even as usage has surged during the pandemic, in fact, 50% of relationships formed on dating apps don't make it past 1 to 2 dates. So how do you make the connection? Third Degree is not about meeting your match, but making the most of that match. It's a conversation building app that takes honesty and vulnerability to create high quality conversations. It encourages face-to-face communication by two people getting to ask each other the questions we all want to know. Through game-like quizzes that score you based on your effort to open up, you'll find out fun tidbits about your date. The other competition has very limited amount of questions or is simply copy and paste questions. What makes Third Degree unique is that it has multiple categories, hundreds of questions, helps control the conversation, and has the gaming aspect to encourage people to open up in order to win. Last year, pre-pandemic, dating app giant Tinder was the highest grossing non-gaming app, bringing in $1.2 billion. The pandemic has increased dating app usage so much that for the first half of 2020, Tinder was the #1 grossing app worldwide, and it added 200,000 users in the second quarter. Users' willingness to pay for dating apps is up due to the need to stay connected with someone. Market potential. So there's 30.4 million people in the US using dating apps, with the average user spending $58 a year, which equals $1.74 billion. Now, these dating apps are freemium model based to generate that revenue. Third Degree will do the same. Now, while we have launched as a standalone app, by partnering with dating apps, we are instantly connected to all their users. So if the 30.4 million Americans subscribe to our cheapest package, you're looking at 725 million per year in the US. Now, we are live in the app stores and undergoing one more round of testing before publicly announcing our launch. And this month we'll focus on digital marketing with social media. November we'll optimize based on user feedback and data analytics. In December, we'll launch our subscription option, new features, and in March we'll begin our content collabs. We have received trademark registration and obtained copyright of code and algorithms. And bootstrapped with 160,000, and our app is live. And here's a raise of 500,000 for a 15-month runway to maximize our marketing opportunity, launch, and additional features. Work towards partnering with dating apps. So why invest? All dating apps have reported surges in usage since the pandemic began because the need for connection is higher than ever. But dating apps still fail to help people during in-person and virtual dates to connect on a deeper level. Third Degree bridges that gap and meets that need for users. Partnering with dating apps to increase user acquisition and retention, lifts sales by upselling our services to existing users, and help singles to build relationships. And the best part, there's virtually nothing else like Third Degree in the marketplace. The market potential is huge, and we hope that you take advantage of this opportunity.
Thanks a lot, Shauna. Thanks a lot for your presentation. So again, for all the investors, if you would like to ask any questions to Shauna regarding a presentation, there's the Q&A feature that you can use, which is at the bottom of your screen. You can also use the chat feature. And yes, so I have a question that has come from Rockwell. Why is the Third Degree different than others? So if you can reiterate on the fact again.
Okay, so there are the dating apps like Hinge and Bumble. They have icebreaker questions that are incorporated into users' profiles. Well, we aren't a dating app. Dating apps are successful in helping you get to that first date, but they are of no use during actual dates. And yes, our app does have those fun get-to-know-you questions. I mean, you can Google and find a list of 100 more questions, but those questions don't foster a deeper connection. We know how people work, and our questions help to reveal the true essence of a person, what their true goals and aspirations are, and what truly motivates them. And by understanding these things, you can truly see if you're a good match beyond the surface. We also have an advisor to our company that has been a therapist and specializing in trauma, abuse, behavioral, and other issues for over 20 years. So we have questions that help you reveal red flags on the front end versus finding them out on your own 3 months down the road. Like a narcissist may not realize that answering a series of questions would reveal their narcissistic nature. So that's how our questions are unique.
Okay, thank you. Just the last question for you right now, because we are slightly short on time. So do you have plans to monetize data analytics?
Once we launch, we have a few plans of scaling our marketing. First, we'll be able to collect specific data from users that will tell us the number of users by gender, age, couple types using the app. Additionally, we'll be doing both demographic and psychographic targeting on Facebook, Instagram, which would give us a deeper understanding of who our core audience is. And based on this information, we'll be able to optimize our marketing more efficiently and effectively.
Okay, thank you. So we do have a couple of more questions for you, but we will answer all the remaining questions via email after the event. Till then, over to you, Emma.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shauna. Thank you so much, Karen. So we have that poll up for Shauna's presentation. Again, if we didn't have time for your question today, go ahead and click yes on that intro and we'll get you guys connected so you can discuss further. Coming up next, we'll have Will Cellino, who's going to be the co-founder and CEO of Anthology, coming to us from Seattle, Washington. Additionally, real quick, before we'll get started, we just shared a link to the feedback form. That'll help you guys if you have additional feedback, additional questions, any introductions that you may have missed on the poll. Go ahead and fill that out there. But with that, Will, the floor is yours.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone. I have a few moments today to explain to you our vision for a brand new photography platform. But I've decided to do something a little different by having you participate at home by opening your mind and exploring your imagination. First, I'd like you to imagine yourself in an industry that earns $10.5 billion per year in revenue, an industry in which 93.6% of the workforce are quote unquote non-employers, meaning that they work for themselves in some capacity as freelancers. Imagine a landscape in which the only way to become successful today is to not only spend time and energy both producing and editing your art, but you also have to expend resources on the multiple decentralized services for distribution. All the while hoping that your client and customer base follows along between services to effectuate the different transactions. Imagine working on some of today's top platforms who are supposedly built for artists, yet they actively go against your interests. They focused on what we call the influencer culture instead of the art. They destroyed visibility and growth by moving away from time-based algorithms on their social feeds, and their licensing marketplaces just mean they partner with agencies notorious for returning small rates while they themselves keep hundreds. So I want you to imagine what a dedicated, centralized platform for your goals and needs as an artist would look like. I'm here to introduce to you Anthology, the superior platform experience for fostering the photographer community. Imagine being at home with your family and having a service that helps you discover a host of beautiful locations nearby that you might not have even known about. Anthology allows users to share beautiful locations with the world. Imagine a platform that is designed to attract and bring the viewer's attention to your art and allows artists to customize how they're being presented. Anthology is driving visibility, creativity, and growth to the industry. Imagine a platform that allows you to sell your work effortlessly wherever your photo is visible from the screen. No more jumping between services. A platform that effectuates more transactions and is logistics-free thanks to a print-on-demand service provider. Imagine having control of how your photos are used by others. You get to set your own license rates, terms, and conditions, and you get to build your own brand. We also allow our users to sell their services as freelancers. Remember, 93.6% of the industry are non-employers, so this is right in their wheelhouse. These features alone would satisfy 70% of the market. But let's dive into what really separates Anthology from anyone else. Imagine being a beginner with just a smartphone in your pocket and someone who you don't know voluntarily supports you because they simply enjoy the way you capture a moment. Our platform helps foster a community of artists from beginner to amateur all the way to professional photography. We're the first dedicated patronage platform for photographers. And now I want you to imagine a revolutionary feature that completely changes the way we think about taking photos. a concept of gamifying the photography space that rewards winners with real domestic currency for simply taking a photo with their phone. A concept that invites not only photographers to the platform, but also the average social media user by invoking competitiveness, a sense of adventure, and incentive, helping us live up to our mission of bridging the divide between artist and consumer. Anthology is the platform where you can discover, manage, and market your work. We're the only service where you can earn through social media interaction. Now, we already have a great team behind us, a team of individuals who have built their own businesses, an individual who's appeared on the Bachelor TV series several times and has amassed a huge social media following and market expertise, as well as individuals who are master photographers. This is in addition, of course, to the team at KiwiTech, who's doing a fantastic job technologically. But even so, we'll still need some help. We'll be kicking off development by bootstrapping in a few weeks, and we have a goal launch of spring 2021. But in order to meet that goal, we'll need to boost staffing and have a dedicated direct marketing budget. I hope I've inspired some of you today. I'd love to speak more and answer any questions to the best of my abilities. We're starting our anthology today, and I'm hoping you start yours as well. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Will. That was a great presentation. Will, we do have a couple of questions that are coming in. Before that, I would again request all the investors to use the Q&A feature. We have the next question that is coming in from Doug. How do you intend to market this to the photography industry? Feels like it will be expensive.
We have already started marketing to the industry just through social media already. We have a splash website page at anthology-us.com. We've already garnered hundreds of relationships with photographers already, and we're building that through our mailing list. So it's going to take a lot of work. We understand that there's going to be a lot of upfront costs for the marketing, and that's part of the reason why the biggest portion of that financial ask is for marketing.
Okay, thank you. We have another question. Has COVID-19 impacted the industry? If yes, how have you pivoted to accommodate the impact on the industry?
That's a good question. So COVID-19 definitely impacted every single industry. But in terms of the photography industry, it has impacted more so the freelance photographers having to meet up with individuals and clients, but with social distancing rules and with mask wearing and other safeguards, I believe that it hasn't necessarily affected us too much.
Thank you. So we would answer all the remaining questions via email post the event. And thanks a lot, Will. And till then, over to you, Emma. Thank you.
Awesome. So we have that poll up real quick. If you want some more time to talk to Will, go ahead and click that yes for asking for an intro. Otherwise, just give us a rating. Those ratings really help out our presenters. They really appreciate any feedback they can get as they keep moving forward in their work here. So coming up next, I have Lori Caliuert, the founder of Social Network Verified, coming to us out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for your time. And my name is Lori Caliuert. I am the CEO and founder of Social Network Verified, which is an app to bring transparency to the internet of who you're actually speaking with. And as we all know, COVID-19 has forever changed the way that we communicate, making us more dependent on our digital devices now more than ever. And so, I don't know if you can see this, but the true question is, who are you communicating with online, and who are your children communicating with? So Social Network Verified is the first app of its kind to ever bring real transparency to the internet with patented app. So what we're trying to solve the problem is of catfishing. When people make fake accounts pretending to be somebody that they're not, usually taking somebody's pictures for devious behaviors. And now more than ever, sex traffickers are taking pictures of children to lure them into the sex trafficking rings, never to be seen again. Thank God your daughter didn't go to meet Julian, or she may not have made it home from these sex traffickers. So if you see that on social media, a lot of famous people on their Twitter, Instagram, all have the blue check mark, which identifies their accounts. And the question I asked myself when I was going through this is, why can't we too? Well, the answer is we can, now with the Social Network Verified app. Once you're verified in our system, you'll be able to take that blue check mark with you wherever you want to go. And here's how it works. Download the app. We're going to ask you to take a picture of the front and the back of your driver's license or government issued ID. And yes, the answer is yes, we can determine if it's a fake. The second step is that we're going to ask you to take a live selfie, and we're going to compare the biometric information from your focal points on your face to the driver's license. That's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Then once you're in the Social Network Verified app, it's very simple. We're going to ask you to take pictures from our app. So any picture that you take from the SNV app is going to have your own blue check mark. So what do you do from there? You're going to post it onto social media. When somebody sees that little blue check mark, no matter which of one of these sites, they're going to know that picture has been Social Network Verified. And that's great. So what happens next? When you see a picture that's been Social Network Verified with a check mark, you simply scan the picture, and if you have the app, import it into the app. If you don't, scan it like you would any regular QR code. What Social Network Verified is going to offer you, if you don't have the app, is a free download of a Social Network Verified scanner. Once you scan any picture that has our logo on it, it's going to show the person who originated the picture. I took the picture of the food. Let's take it to our white label application. I was selling my furniture on Craigslist, so I took a picture from the SNV app. Anybody who looked at my advertisement and saw my pictures had the ability to scan the picture to see who's actually taking the picture of the furniture. It was me, Lori. I was the one selling it. Social media is at an all-time high, and so are dating sites. Wouldn't you want to know who you're going to go meet on a dating site? I know I would, and I'd want them to be Social Network Verified as well. We do have competition. However, we are the first to the market to solve the problem the way that we are. We're proud to have 2 utility technology patents behind us for online verification processes. In addition, we're having the international patents come through. We're seeking $250,000 in the form of a convertible note. We will charge a small fee for the app. Investment will help us finish the technology, launch and grow, modify, monetize, and launch our white label application. I look at online predators as the cockroaches of the internet. And what happens to cockroaches once the light switch turns on? They scatter to the dark. So help make SNV the light switch to the internet. Together, we can make the world a safer place for you, your family, and mine. I only briefly went over some of the information about the background technology. If any of the investors would like to know more because it's proprietary information, I'm happy to discuss that with you one-on-one. We're very proud of the team that we have, with KiwiTech included, and we do have our 3-year budget. So thank you again for your time, and I look forward to answering any questions that you have.
Thanks a lot, Lori. We do have one question coming in. Who are your competitors, and how do you differentiate yourself from them?
Awesome. So thank you. That's a great question. Ben Verified is one of our competitors. There's a company called Legitify. So what Legitify does is they do crowdsourcing and aggregate social media accounts, and somebody can go ahead and vouch for them. The problem with that is there's something called the black web. And so a pedophile can have a pedophile ring and they can each vouch that they're a 16-year-old boy. That doesn't solve the problem. There's other companies that just do background checks. We're the first to the market to go and have an app in which we verify you inside of our ecosystem, and whenever you go and post a picture anywhere, so we don't have to break through APIs of Facebook, Instagram, or anywhere. When you post a picture from Social Network Verified anywhere, that picture can be scanned similar to a QR code, and it'll go back to the homepage of the Social Network Verified person who registered that account.
Okay. All right. We have another question coming in from Peter. How do you prevent a pedophile from becoming a trusted source? How do you prevent these kind of circumstances, if ever?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and thank you for asking. So we're not here to say that you're bad or good. We're just here to say who you are. What we're doing is stopping catfishing. So if a pedophile wants to create a profile of a 6-year-old boy, he's not going to be able to do it through our system, because any picture that he takes, as soon as it's swiped, is going to go back to the homepage of his original Social Network Verified profile that he created.
Okay, fair enough. That does, okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot for answering the questions, Lori.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your presentation as well. Over to you, Emma. We have a poll coming up.
Perfect. So we have a poll coming up. I know we had one more question coming right at the end there, but we'll get Lori to answer that over email following the event. So thank you again, Lori. Moving right on along, just to try and keep us all on time, I'll have Monica Perazzo quickly, the co-founder and co-CEO of the Etho. So Monica, thanks for hopping on with us. Feel free to go ahead and start your screen share and you'll be good to go.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Monica Peraza. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Etho, and this is my fifth venture. The Etho is an ethical technology company and marketplace. And we say that behind every great brand, there is a great woman. Ours is Mother Earth, because our IP is an ethical verification process that I will show you later. We're raising a bridge round to our A round, we will come later in the fall. And the Etho vision is to eradicate extreme poverty among women by providing access to markets to 100 million women in the globe by 2030. And the ethical verification process measures fair wages, environmental sustainable practices, and safe working conditions. So we are a product of a merger, and in the 9 months we've been in business, we've impacted close to 6,500 women. We have 48 brands in 48 countries, and we have impacted almost 10,000 employees. So there's the brand problem that we are solving, and the brand problem is that there is not a marketplace for ethical and sustainable makers across the globe that gives them the technology that they need to be able to scale the businesses. And then on the other side, there is the customer problem. And the customer problem is finding in one place all the products they need to be able to assure that they're sustainable and ethical. The Etho model is set to unify the very fragmented ethical place with a one-stop shop. And so think of us as the Amazon of ethical and sustainable products. And these are the categories that we have, from laundry detergent to high-end fashion and everything in between. Right now we have over 500 products, and this is the streams of revenue from the Ethos. So the technology is a B2B solution with the ethical verification, charging $100 first time and $50 annually to all the brands that sell in the Ethos. Our SaaS, we're building a SaaS platform that will enable them to manage their business across marketplaces and brick and mortar, and it has a monthly fee of $29.99. So on the e-commerce, we have the B2C, and we have different varieties of e-commerce, which is from a marketplace that is 15% of GP to the Etho collection that goes to 66%. So what is the competition? There are other ethical marketplaces, but we really specialize in the ethical verification process. We can tell you if those brands are really ethical and sustainable because we've done the process with them. So the investment and how we're going to use it. So as I mentioned initially, we're seeking an opportunity of $1 million with it's a 20% of the A round valuation of 20 million. And we are going to close the A round at the end of the fall. So mostly these funds will come for revenue creation and operations, which will also enhance the technology that we will do with KiwiTech. So why are we a good investment? Huge market opportunity. There are several revenue streams, and there are multiple exit options from highly acquisitive buyers. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Monica. Thanks a lot for your presentation. So we have a question coming in from Dave. Is revenue creation another name for marketing? Is revenue creation another name for marketing in your presentation?
Yes, yes. Well, the thing is, we're a social venture. We have a B Corp. So for us, revenue creation encapsulates marketing and encapsulates other sources that we will start tapping into to create revenue for these.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Monica. For further questions, we will be answering any remaining questions via email after the event. And yes, do let us know whatever questions you have incoming. Thanks a lot, Monica. Over to you, Emma.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Monica. So with that, we have our presentation ratings up there. We'll go off content and not obviously the issues we all face with Zoom every once in a while. But coming on last, and certainly not least, we have Paul Berkemper, the co-founder of Vinsight, coming to us from Denver, Colorado. So Paul, are you ready to close us out?
Dynamite. All right. Well, hello, everyone, and thanks for taking the time to learn more about our company, VinSight, turnkey technology platform designed to help auto dealers better monetize the value of their satisfied customers post-sale. Just a quick introduction to our three founding partners. That's me in the middle with Randy on the left and my son JP on the right. Now, before we get started, let me quickly set the stage. Car dealers sell over 50 million cars per year nationwide. And in every scenario, once a sale has been made and a relationship has been created, the customer drives off the lot. The question is, what happens next? Now, why do I ask? Well, studies tell us that 86% of customers prefer ongoing engagement following a car purchase. The problem is that in an industry that is so hyper-focused on making the sale, dealers lack the resources and technology to maintain working relationships and fully monetize the value of their satisfied customers post-sale. To make matters worse, OEMs spend huge amounts of money to promote brand loyalty, and that often leads to competition between the OEMs and the dealers themselves. Bottom line, dealers want and need a better way to promote dealership loyalty. And that's why we created VinSight, a powerful turnkey owner management platform designed to improve the ownership experience while helping dealers maintain lasting relationships with every buyer. Now, we do this by automating the delivery of a custom VinSight to every single buyer. The VinSight platform is a dealer-branded, vehicle-specific, go-to resource for the owner that anchors the dealer-customer relationship throughout the entire ownership lifecycle. Through this ongoing connection, we're able to position the dealer as a trusted resource and fully automate the processes necessary to continually cultivate and capitalize on each relationship created during the sales process. Now, the benefits to the dealer are a dealer-branded resource designed to promote dealership loyalty and automate acts of retention. It's an automated technology platform constantly working in the background to generate reviews, referrals, service revenues, and repeat buyers. And it's a very cost-effective solution that is not reliant upon input at the dealership level to optimize results. Benefits to the customer are comprehensive and an efficient resource personalized to the owner that continually adds value and enhances the ownership experience. Now, there's 167,000 new and used car dealers across the United States, each one of which is a potential customer. Having said that, we are projecting onboarding 200 dealers in the first 12 months, which will generate approximately $350,000 in revenues. Now, going out 5 years, we are projecting over 8,000 dealers, representing a little over $14 million in revenue. Additional resources not reflected in these numbers will come from gift card breakage, extended warranty commissions, finance lender commissions, and ad network revenues. Now, while there are plenty of competitors, none provide a fully automated, comprehensive solution. Not only that, but the robust nature of our technology platform provides functionality that can replace many of these other products that are, in many cases, overpriced and underutilized. Now, while our existing product that is beta tested and ready to go to market addresses the utilization phase, our roadmap includes future enhancements that will create one platform/destination to provide a seamless experience throughout all phases of the ownership life cycle. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, first of all, it doesn't currently exist. Secondly, let's consider the numbers. There are over 50 million cars bought each year. By default, that means there's over 50 million cars sold. Not only that, but car owners spend approximately $40 billion a month during the utilization phase. So creating a seamless solution that addresses all car-related activities, regardless of whether buying, maintaining, or selling, represents an enormous untapped opportunity. Lastly, we are looking to raise $1 million. Funds will be used to build the infrastructure necessary to scale, as well as implement future enhancements. Wow, right at the bell. Thank you. I'm happy to answer questions.
Thanks a lot, Paul, for your presentation. We have a question coming in. Also, again, to the investors, do send in your questions in the Q&A chat feature that you have at the bottom of your screen or the Zoom screen. The question is, Paul, what is your exit strategy? And what is your go-to-market strategy as well? So it's all, please.
Okay, kind of a dual question there then. So let's start with our go-to-market strategy, which is basically twofold. Number one will be direct sales through mass marketing to dealers. We actually have data on over 10,000 dealerships across the United States. And when I say we have data on those dealers, that includes logos, personnel, as well as their current inventory. So we are able to do same day, no cost onboarding. We're able to offer a 30-day free trial. And basically what we're trying to do is make it real simple for the dealer to say yes. The second approach will be through resellers. We currently have 4 resellers that we've signed reseller agreements with. These resellers have existing relationships in the space with decision makers at dealerships. And we feel it's going to be important to leverage those existing relationships, especially as we're bringing on and onboarding early adopters. So, and then the last question, I know we're out of time, so I'll make it real quick. Our exit strategy is, there's a tremendous amount of consolidation going on in the automotive technology space. I'll give you a recent example. Car Guru's just recently bought AutoList, which is a pretty basic car shopping platform, for $60 million. So having said that, or maybe it was 80 million, okay? But having said that, with projected revenues of over $20 million by year 5, we feel as though we're going to be a prime acquisition target for one of the big players. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So just the last question. We're very short on time.
Okay.
With services like Car Guru and TrueCar, how do you compete with them on the acquisition side?
Acquisition side, with respect to, I'm wondering what they mean by that acquisition side, but Car Gurus, others, these are listing platforms. What we are is a very different technology. And right now, currently, we have a technology that is designed to pick up, it's not designed to make the sale before the sale, it's designed to pick up at the time of sale and to create that lasting relationship with that customer on an ongoing basis. This is where car dealers, they don't have a clue. They do not, once the sale is made and the customer drives off the lot, they have no mechanisms in place to maintain that relationship. And thereby, there's a tremendous amount of opportunities that are slipping through the cracks. And those opportunities represent a tremendous amount of lost revenues.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for the questions, and the rest of the questions that are coming in. We would be answering them post the event. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you, Emma.
All right, just to close things out, we got our ratings up. So thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much to all of our presenters today. Real quick, before we lose everyone, we do have some upcoming events coming for you guys. A couple more demo days, some workshops, a couple other really, really interesting events we have coming up, including our second Techathon, which I think will be really, really exciting. So if you have any additional questions on those, feel free to reach right out to that events@KiwiTech.com email. If you have any further questions or any further feedback, any more conversations you want to have with our presenters from today, feel free to click that link in the Zoom chat feature down at the bottom, fill out that feedback form, and we'll go right back to you. Thank you, everyone.